beverage, and she brought the career advice. Now sit back and relax while you get advice that will take you to the next destination in your career or business. And now, Katrina Brittingham. Hello, hello, hello. It is Katrina Brittingham, your navigator on your road to success, and my handsome co host, Dr. The Real Deal Love.
Hello, hello, hello.
And this is our love segment. We missed the first 2 weeks because of the holiday, and then I
Mm,
was not feeling very well, and Dr.
hmm
Love had some important business to take care of. So we
Important.
are picking up with
hmm
our love topic so that you can be well rounded in business because I have experienced it and I know other people have. If your personal life is a mess, guess what? Your whole life is going to be a mess,
Mm,
including your business. So,
hmm
this is to get you up and running and have everything in alignment, happen with work life balance. And so, he is going to be driving, and I am just going to sit back and make my little comments like I always do.
uh-huh. Sometimes they're big comments, though. They're not always little. Uh-huh. Yes, yes.
All right. So, with no further ado,
All
Dr.
right, all right, all right. I'm excited. I'm excited. Um, how was your day today?
It was wonderful. It went by so fast. So fast.
Mm. Gotcha. Okay, we got is that a comment we got on this
It is a
screen? I saw
comment.
some. Okay, that's great. That's good
So
to
we
see.
have I am going to butcher this name, so I'm not even going to try, but it says, "Hey, this live stream seems very interesting." And yes, it is.
Okay. That's great. That's great. Well, tonight's topic, we're going to talk about, our topic tonight is understanding man.
Mm.
Understanding man. That's what we're going to talk about tonight. And I think it's going to be interesting. I mean, I've been thinking and pondering, and so many things have happened. I've talked to so many great people, and I said, let's talk about understanding man because I had a statement that I made, and then I put it into a song, and it was, if you take on a man, you've got to have the plan. I said, that's a good rhyme. If you take on a man, you got to have a plan.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you don't have a plan, just don't take on a man. Just, you know, wait until Dr. Love comes by because uh, I wanted to share with you the importance of having a plan. And that's the reason I opened Love University. But before I say that, I wanted to share with you, Miss Katrina, that one, I wanted to commend you for having the love topic, and thank you for the opportunity in sharing the love topic, because that has been my goal, is to talk with business coaches, business owners, women group leaders, anything that deals with the woman, her career, her health, anything that deals with the woman. I'm reaching out to say there's another component that just makes her whole. And for
Mhm.
you to see that, for you to address it and then to make it happen on your show, you're to be commended for it. You're to be celebrated for seeing the need. Because if there's a need and you don't see it, what good is having it? It goes unnoticed. We're still in pain. But when you see the need and you identify it, and then you bring solutions. You bring some, even if I don't solve all the problems, just give you, some steps to take. You know what I'm saying? It would definitely make life and living so much better. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the things that I said to a young lady who said to me at an event I attended. And, as Dr. Love, I always get that warm response. I could just be walking down the street. Hey, there's Dr. Love. Hey, Dr. Love. So she said to me when I was leaving an event, she said, Dr. Love, what would you say to a young lady like myself? And I was just leaving the event and I thought about it for a moment. And then I said, here's two things I would say to you, young lady. I said, are you in college? She said, I'm finished college and I'm going to be on my master's degree. I said, here's what I would say to you. There's two questions that every lady, every woman, every girl has to ask herself. And the two questions are, what would I spend my life doing? And who will I spend my life with?
Mm-hmm.
Those two questions impact her life the greatest. Those two hold the greatest impact. And then when I thought about it and I started developing it, I added the third question because one, what will I spend my life doing? Two, who will I spend my life with? Three, am I willing to commit to learning, developing, and then growing to knowing what to do, to be willing to do it?
Mm-hmm.
You understand? And develop the confidence, the poise, and the technique in which to carry it off.
Yes.
Okay? Because we talk about that all the time. We have a lot of doctors, but sometimes the doctor's bedside manner just ain't what it needs to be.
Not at all.
Okay. So to have the technique, the tools, the information to carry it off, that's the third component. And I just added that in. So now it became a three question that I believe every woman needs to answer. And the right answers in those questions, to those questions, will cause her life to be fulfilling, enriching. And one thing I say to women now is yes, you can have it all.
Yes. Have it all.
You can have it all. That's important to know that you can have it all. Now, I'm not saying to you it's just going to come rolling down the street to you. I'm not saying you're going to have to not going to have to put in some time. I'm not saying you're going to have some nights where you kind of question and doubt yourself. But if you're willing to put in some time, learn some stuff, okay? It was said like this here. We in the 21st century have to be willing to unlearn, relearn, and learn. Okay.
Yes.
You've got to be willing to unlearn some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You've got to be willing to relearn. And you've always got to be a student to learn. Always.
Oh.
When you get to the point where you know it all, no nothing to learn, hey, that's it. Life is over for you. You know, there's nothing to learn, nowhere for you to go. You got it all. You know it all. You did it all. You've seen it all.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So always willing to learn. So tonight's topic, understanding man, I think that's such a good foundation. That's such, it's a good mix in what we've done so far because it's important to understand man. And I was thinking about the sequel or the other part of it. And I think the other part I'll do sometime would be understanding her influence
Mm-hmm.
on man. That's a powerful that's a powerful piece there. So I said, well, we'll deal with that later. So let's just deal with understanding man. Okay. So
Yes.
in understanding man, I figured I would start off with what David wrote in the Psalms. This is what David wrote in the eighth Psalm. He said, "What is man that thou art mindful of him, and the Son of Man that you visit with him?" That you would take the time out of your schedule and that you would visit with him. Then he said, you have created him just a little lower than the angels, and you crowned him with glory and honor. And
Mhm.
when we think about that, and this is why I thought that was so important, because it says, and you crowned him with glory and honor. Okay.
Mhm.
Now, listen to this. If he's a man that really doesn't know who he is and how he's created, even though he may not be honorable,
Mhm.
he's still crowned with glory and honor.
Mhm.
You see, because what we've got to begin to understand is just because you're not honorable, that's an indication that there's some internal work, some internal adjustments that need to be made, but that has nothing to do with your crowning.
Exactly.
Okay, has nothing to do with it. Okay, and that's going to be key, because if you don't watch it, you will be. Um, I have this thing that I would always teach my children, and I would say, I'm not the same man that I was last week.
Right.
Someone will say, well, you look the same. And here's what I tell my kids, and I can't say this fast enough before they spit it out there. I say, you look the same. They say, well, looks are deceiving. Okay. Looks can really be deceiving. Okay. So when we talk about the honor that a man is crowned with, what we're speaking of something that is in him, even though it may not be surfacing, even though he may not understand it, it is in him. Okay. Very important to understand that. Okay. So when we talk about when we talk about what is man, okay, I like that. I like the way that opens, because it doesn't say who is man.
Right.
Okay. It says, what is man? So, see, we would have a tendency to go into the physical part. Who is man? But the broad question is, what is man? Man, man, man is a spirit being.
Mhm.
Okay. Man is a man is a he is a predator. He's a predator by nature. And because he's a predator by nature, that's built into him, because he is the ultimate warrior and he is the ultimate survivor. There's nothing and no one on earth that has the ability to adapt and overcome like man. Okay. The dinosaurs are not here because they couldn't adapt. Okay. So when you think of man as predator, you want to begin to understand, it's not in the negative sense of just some kind of bad thing. It's just understanding his nature.
Mhm.
Okay, that's what caused him to have the ability. When President Kennedy asked the question, what would it take for man to go to the moon? Okay, because that is something that uh, President Kennedy thought about. A lot of great men thought about it. What will it take for man to go to the moon? To go to the moon, it's like, isn't that kind of far fetched? Not for man.
Mhm.
Not for man. Okay. So we asked him, what will it take for man to go to the moon? And you know what the answer was? The will to do it.
Mhm.
That's all it takes, the will to do it.
Mm-hmm.
What does it take to create and enjoy a successful relationship? Understanding the will. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Understanding the will. So when we talk about man and the ultimate warrior, we've only begun to scratch the surface on understanding man. And my goal is to work with women in this area. And it's not a put down, but most of us men don't even understand ourselves. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So important. All right. Now, one other proverb that I want to put in there was the fourth proverb. It said in this proverb, it says, wisdom is the principal thing.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, get wisdom, and in all thy getting, get
Yeah.
understanding.
Understanding.
Isn't that
Yes.
something?
Yes.
Wisdom is the principal thing. And in all thy get, everything you get, everything you search for, everything you strive for, all those things get understanding. All right. So, with the most successful business out there, you still need understanding. You've got to begin to understand success in one area of your life is no excuse for failure in other areas.
Right.
So that's why Solomon wrote, in all thy getting, in everything that you get understanding. Because understanding begins to open up, listen to this here. It begins to open up all of the five senses,
Mm-hmm.
and then it begins to open up all of your higher faculties.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where we've got to begin to grow and understand is that your five senses, hear, taste, touch, smell, see, just the five senses, great in the physical world. But when it comes down to the spiritual world, someone said to me the other day, he said, man, you are so creative. I said, I'm not no more creative than you are. You are just as creative as I am. I just happen to have tapped into it.
Mm-hmm.
I work with myself, and I'm always seeking to develop and reinvent myself. Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
he wanted to put on me like I'm this creative person that he's not, but that's not true.
Mm-hmm.
It's just tapping into, and that and when we go into the higher faculties are, for those of you who want to know, it's reason, it's intuition, it's
Mm-hmm.
memory, it's will, it's intuitive. Okay. And then, I don't know if I said it, the will, the human will.
Mm-hmm.
See, the human will is what we use to compel ourselves to make sure that we succeed in every area of your life. Okay. And I
Mm-hmm.
was talking to someone yesterday. I said, I don't want to be in a position where I'm so successful in business till I got to explain to you why my personal life is not working.
Exactly.
See, or
Mm-hmm.
that uh, I have a successful business and I'm hiding behind the success of my business rather than understanding, yes, I got that, but I want this too. You
Mm-hmm.
understand? Or to have your personal life halfway decent, but they're not handling the business part of it. See, so that's the reason, Miss Katrina, it was just so good for you to understand and see the need. Um, will thou be made whole? I want to be whole.
Yes.
Okay, want to be
And
whole.
that's the big thing. And I'm sorry I have to cut in because you made some great points,
Okay,
and I wanted to comment on them and not lose them.
okay.
One of the things you said is that when you were talking about the Bible, and you was like how man is crowned with glory and honor. That's just
Mm,
something that he is, whether he's a good man, whether he's a bad man.
mm,
And what came to me is you're still a king, even if you're a tyrant
mm,
or if you're a just king. It doesn't matter how you put yourself out there, you still are who you are.
mm,
It doesn't change the fact that you're a man. It's just your character is what you make it. But at the
mm,
end of the day, it doesn't matter how you portray yourself. At the end of the day, you're still a man.
mm, mm,
And that goes to the same for a woman. You're still a woman. It doesn't matter how you portray yourself. It doesn't negate the fact that you are still a woman or you're still
mm,
a man.
mm,
That was deep to me when you said that. And when that came to me, I was like, wow, yeah, no matter what happens, a man is
mm,
still a man, a woman is still a woman.
mm, mm,
And when you said that a man is a predator by nature, the ultimate hunter and
mm,
survivor. And
mm,
I was like, that was deep to me too, because they normally say, oh, predator in a way of a bad thing, like to catch a predator. But
mm, mm,
that is true. Like, you know, we have civilization in cities and stores and stuff like that. But prior to that, the man did actually go out and hunt,
mm,
and he had to be skilled and skillful at that. That was an instinct to survive.
mm,
Now, just because now we go to the supermarkets, it doesn't change that instinct.
yes.
And that's what people have to remember. There is an instinct.
Mm,
And I remember my uncles telling me, you know, a man chases you. It's in his nature
mm,
to chase you. So you should not be chasing the man. And
mm,
I took that. I don't chase after men because I'm like, wait a minute, I'm it's bad to say it, but I'm the prey. Like you're trying to
yeah.
catch
Yeah, well, you could. It's a PP. It's the prey and the prize. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
exactly.
That's why he hunted, because his survival is at stake. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? Same thing when it comes down to the woman. He's hunting for the woman. His survival is at stake.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? Not
Mm-hmm.
only his survival at stake, his his legacy is at stake.
Right.
His name, the lifelong legacy, his name live, O King, live forever.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? That's at stake. That's why he is a predator. Because he's going after what it takes for him to survive.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Absolutely. And the third thing was
Okay.
when you was talking about wisdom and get understanding. What came to me, and I wrote it down. That's I got my book. I'm like, wow, he giving me stuff to take notes with. Um, you can have all the wisdom in the world and have it at your fingertips. Have all these books, but if you do not have understanding, you have nothing.
Mm,
So it's just like you can have all the books in the world, but if you don't know how to read, you don't have any understanding, so you can't make use
mm-hmm,
of
mm-hmm,
that wisdom.
mm-hmm,
Because wisdom is there. Wisdom cries loud in the streets. It's there.
mm-hmm.
But a lot of times people are not using the wisdom, not because it's not there, but because they don't have the understanding and the know-how of how to use it.
Mm. That's good. That's good. That's good. And that's a good segue right into understanding when it comes down to using what's necessary. Because when you talked about the man being a king, the woman being a queen. I just wanted to throw this in there because we were talking about it um, so recently as yesterday or the day before. Someone brought up to me about Kevin Samuels, and that was one of the things that uh, was just an error on his part, is for him to belittle a woman or to degrade a woman because of her age. And that was a big thing, you know what I'm saying? If a woman was um 40, if a woman was 50, oh God, she's 60, you know what I mean? I mean,
Mhm.
he would just insult the woman from that standpoint. And that was the reason I was sharing tonight, because there's no divide. He's the king. He's the king, and he's crowned with glory and honor.
Mhm. No matter
Okay,
what.
no matter what. Even though he doesn't know it. That's why I said most men don't understand who they are. Most men don't understand who they are. A lot of women really don't understand who she is. She is a queen.
Mhm.
What are we talking about when we talk about a queen? See, what you've done or what you haven't done, okay, doesn't define who you are. That's the reason I said to the man that he's
Mhm.
clothed with glory and honor, even though he may not know
Uh-oh. We got
or be
somebody.
or be honorable. Yeah, we got somebody on
Somebody wants to
the line.
comment on that.
let, let me say a thing or two. All right, but it's important to understand what I've done or the lack thereof does not define me.
Mhm.
Okay. And for some reason, this was in my spirit to share, because I was talking with someone today about this. It was right here in Philadelphia where these kids, ages 10, 14, something, they beat a man to death with a parking cone,
Mm.
you know. And the person I was talking to today was just like, oh, she's, like, what are these kids doing? What are they thinking? What's going on? How can you beat a man? You know what I mean? How can you beat someone to death with a cone? And as you know, I decided months ago, getting angry was a thing of the past for me.
Mhm.
And the reason it's a thing of the past for me, because I said I can implement understanding rather than anger. See, moving
Mm.
to understanding. See, there's a reason for everything, whether you understand it or whether you know it or not. There's a reason. Okay. I had one
Mhm.
of my colleagues who owned a health food store, and she was talking with me about when when Floyd was killed, and they had all the looting
Mhm.
in the cities, and she was like, oh, that's such a shame. How could these people? And they showed a lot of black people, and it looked like only the black people was looting. And I was telling her there's a reason why. And and we always had tough conversations. And she's a foreigner. She said to me, she said it like this here: "You always have excuse. You always have excuse. You always have excuse." I said, "No, this is not an excuse. This is reason." Now I don't
Mhm.
go out. I don't go out looting because that's not who I am. That's not how I see it. But some people feel, and they chanted it on the streets. They said, "No justice, no peace."
Mhm.
They said, we don't have the wherewithals to take you to court. We don't
Mhm.
have the wherewithals to go to City Hall. We don't have the wherewithals to do that. The best we can do is go down and bust windows out of the stores, or
Mhm.
just to burn up cars. You know what I mean? Just to show how irate we are, that we could watch an officer on TV put a knee in a man's neck with his hand in his pocket and just sit there, just
Mhm.
kneel there. They were outraged.
Mhm. Just to let them know that it was unacceptable. And
Unacceptable.
you want law and order, but the people that are doing law and order are not doing law and order.
Not doing law and order. So
And
what?
give me
Go
one
ahead.
second because we are at the half already.
Oh,
So we
yes.
will need to go to commercial. So I'm going to let you say this one last phrase and then we're going to go to commercial.
Like when it comes down to upholding the law, and the law is not upholding the law, people lose it.
Hmm.
Okay? Not an excuse. It's just a fact. It's a reason.
Hmm.
All right.
All right. And we are going to be back in 30 seconds.
We'll be back.
The business and entrepreneurial world is full of talk. Talk, 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 talk. Enough. We take everything you've learned, leverage it, and give you the actual tools you need to put all the talk into your walk. Attend the conference that's all about action, strategies, and real ROI. Your executive GPS ticket includes access to seminars and workshops where you'll learn business financing, such as loans, grants, venture capital, and angel investors. Business strategies, human capital strategies, such as hiring contractors versus employees. Government contracts. Register today. www.theexecutivegps.com.
And we are back.
We're
So that is the
back.
Executive GPS conference. Yes, it is almost time. It is always the last week of October, because that's when I started it. And oh my goodness, this is the third year already.
Oh
And
my.
so I decided to keep it that same time because that seemed like a good time for everyone. I am taking um, speaker requests. So if you have an expertise in the area of business, please, please, please reach out to me, info at ventureready.net, and I will review it. That is a part of Venture Ready, even though it is a part of Executive GPS, which is the business coaching side of the business. That is just amazing to me how much it grew. Um, as a result and
Mm.
expanding, understanding and having the wisdom for people who need to have that and to get them the wisdom that they need and the understanding that they need to be successful in business. So we are back and I'm going to pass it right on to Dr. Love.
Okay, so where were we at? We were talking about
We were talking about you gave the story about the riots.
yes, yes, right. Yeah, very good, very good. And then then I just wanted to just segue into the teenagers when it comes down to one was as young as 10,
Hmm.
14, and just young ages, and you just be like, what are these kids thinking about? Where are they at? What are their parents? See, you've got to have accurate information.
Hmm.
One of my colleagues said to me one time, he said, uh, Ed, we talk a lot about save the children, save the children. He said, if you save the parents will save the children.
Hmm.
But you got to save the parents, okay?
Exactly.
So important. So when I back it up a little further, when you save and teach and empower with relationships,
Hmm.
that is the start of the relationship,
Hmm.
okay? So it's important to understand man because man is the most sophisticated being on earth. He's
Yes.
sophisticated. My God. You know, my grandson would look at me oftentimes when I would tell him, I said, there's nothing no match for man. Man can fly. I mean, and I'm not saying that he hasn't paid the price. I'm not saying that he's lost some life, he's lost some material, all those things. He's made some mistakes going to the moon. People have lost their lives. We've lost equipment. I'm not saying
Mm-hmm.
none of that happened. But when man makes up his mind to do it, he is relentless.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And nothing and no one can stand in his way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And that's why it's important for me just to be give you to get to begin to give you an inkling, so that as you migrate to some of what I'll be doing in terms of classes, I wanted to just do some mini classes on love, relationships, and romance on my YouTube channel, because when you take on a man, you've got to have the plan. You've got, I mean, you can just do a survey and just ask, women, what is your relationships been with a man? More than not, it's going to be a negative experience. More than not, it's going to be a story there.
Mm-hmm.
A lady called me the other day. Uh, she said to me, she said, "Is this doctor the real deal, love?" I said, "Yes, it is." She said, "Well, what makes you the real deal?" So time I finished my spiel, I guess she agreed with me. I'm the real deal. Then she said to me, she said, "I'm mad at you." I said, "Well, why?" She said, why did it take you so long?"
Why did it take me so long to
Why
find you?
did you understand? Why did it take you so long to get out here for me to find you, for you to find me? What took you so long? I needed you. And that started me, and that begins to add fire to what I'm doing, because a lady said that to me one time when I was in Center City. I was down there. I was handing out cards for my book, and she said, "Dr. Love," she said, "no offense," she said, "I needed you 20 years ago, for
Mm-hmm.
real, for real, for real." You understand? So I understand that, and that's the reason I'm saying I'm out here now. I'm moving as fast as my little feet can carry me,
Mm-hmm.
and to help you really begin to understand what you're dealing with. And when I tell you you can have it all, you can have it all, but you've got to be willing to go in. You got to be willing to go into the classroom, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Because here's what I wanted you to begin to understand. When you look at the progression, let's look at just life. Let's just look at living. If I gave you a picture of a goldfish, would you say that's life? See,
Mm-hmm.
that's life. If I gave you a picture of a dog, a fox terrier or a collie, would you say that's life?
Mm-hmm.
It's life. If I gave you a 7-year-old boy, would you say that's life?
Yes.
I would say that's life. See, and then you would say, what boy would not prefer a collie or a fox terrier over a fish for a pet?
A boy that's allergic to a dog.
A boy that's allergic. Okay. The greater life is the fish, I mean, it's the dog compared to the fish in terms of the greater life.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Fish he's still in water. Dog, greater life.
Mm-hmm.
But the little boy, he is the greatest life.
Mm-hmm.
He supersedes each one of them in progression.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I share that with you is what separates man from every other being, every other species is intellect.
That's right.
Intellect. What causes what causes the plan for the man to work and supersede anything you've ever done, anything you've ever tried, anything that you ever fathom in your mind, understanding the plan, it's the intellect
Mm-hmm.
that separates him from every other being.
Mm-hmm.
It's the intellect that causes him to be the ultimate warrior.
Mm-hmm.
It's the intellect that causes him to be the predator among all predators.
Mm-hmm.
I had a I have a clip that I say I need to dig it back up. Because if I tell you lions, you know lions, you know, king of the jungle lions. If I showed you this clip, I saw this clip, and I called my man. I said, "Listen, man, I don't know how to do it, but get this and save it for me, so I can just look at it." It's a tribe in Africa where three men they go and they hunt lions,
Mm-hmm.
and they look for lions with a fresh kill. Okay, they look for lions with a fresh kill. So they go and they're looking and they hunting for lions. So they show the lion they just made a fresh kill. Now they estimated it was about 11. How many lions did I say?
11.
11 lions on this kill. And that's one of the things, that's one of the trips I always love taking my children to the zoo, because we love when they feed the lions. You know what I mean? They take a big slab of meat and they throw it in the lion, and he grab it. You know what I'm saying? He's a killer. Okay. Now these lions is on this kill. 11 of them. You know what I'm saying? I mean they moving around. They on this kill now, and they show this. Now these three men. It's three men. And I kid you not, they have some arrows in their back about this thick. They got about, each one of them got three of them in they little thing in the back. And they said these three men are gonna go and run those lions off of that kill, and they're gonna take some of that meat for themselves.
Mm.
Now they said timing, confidence, poise is everything. And these men walk in front of these lions, they take a knee, and they get their courage and their confidence where it needs to be. And they just, all three of them, they just start walking right up to the lions. When they walk right up to all the lions. And I kid you not, Miss Katrina, the lions start looking at the men. They like, huh? What? The lions start looking, they walking in. I kid you not, all 11 of the lions go run and they hide in the bushes. They hide in the bushes. One of them take out his machete. They take a chunk off. They take a chunk of meat off the hyena or whatever it was they had. They throw it over their back and they walk away with confidence, like nothing ever happened.
Mm.
One of the lions took the kill and drug it back into the woods. Said, y'all ain't getting no more.
Wow.
He took it and drug it back into the bushes so they wouldn't get no more. I looked at that. I said, look at them men. 3 men, 11 lions. And those lions looked at him. I guess if those lions knew Malcolm X, they would say we was bamboozled. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
His intellect. See, when I really think about it, and this is what my mind started rendering to me on that. See, those men understood there's a certain time when a lion is eating, his normal killer instinct is not available to him.
Mm-hmm.
So now he's in a whole different mindset, and his ability and his normal tendency to pounce and kill is not available to him. He's in a whole different mode. And when I liken that to Love University and empowering and teaching women, when you understand the intellect, and the intellect of the woman is developed to understand the intellect of the man, the normal position, his normal tendencies, his normal behavior is not available to him as it once was.
Mhm.
without the understanding.
Mhm.
So when I tell women I rescue men by empowering women, see, once a mind is expanded, it can never go back.
Exactly.
It can never go back. So that's the reason understanding just once you get a true glimpse. I'm not even taking just a point to say, once you get a glimpse of what man possesses, you just look at the lion and the behavior of a lion, and that's just a small inkling. That's just a small inkling of man. Okay, because
Mhm.
you know the lions ain't no match for the man. Neither is the elephant. Neither is the whale. Man go down there, man go in the deep sea with the whale. See, no match.
Mhm.
And it's his intellect. And that's what I want to just kind of like begin to just hone on and begin to understand, beginning to get women to understand. And we'll talk more about the other half of that. But to really just know what you're dealing with. That's the reason David opened up in the Psalms. He didn't ask God who was he. He didn't ask why is he. He said, what is he?
Mhm.
What is he? Because what he is supersedes who he is.
Mhm.
Supersedes it. So when we talk about the ability to have it all, when we talk about that, one side, and that's what I began to share with you, Ms. Trina, the one side of the business, the business side of her, you know what I mean? Because there's some women, when it comes down to business, there's some women that have a business mind that would make men look like they in child's play. Don't think, don't think, don't think men is the smartest thing going when it comes down to business. Don't get it twisted. You've got some when it comes down to business, you've got some women out there. I mean, they're running it. You know what I mean? I mean, you look at great businesses. Madam C.J. Walker, the first black woman millionaire.
Mhm.
You understand what I'm saying? I'm talking millionaire.
Mhm.
She's a woman.
Mhm.
Her husband, when it came down to business, he couldn't hold a line to her.
Mm.
Okay? But it's not the business that makes the woman. It's not the money that makes the woman. It's not the business that makes the man. It's not the money that makes the man.
Absolutely.
Those are just the byproducts that we use to enjoy life together.
Exactly.
You understand? So I want you to begin to understand. And I oftentimes say, I want to talk slow, sure, and clear so you can begin to understand, honey, this thing is real and it's available.
Yes.
It's available. But you're not going to trust me, you're not going to get it if you think I got it all and I know it all, because we don't.
Mhm.
I study every day.
Mhm.
Every day. You don't have to study an hour every day. You don't have to study a half hour, but you've got to study something every day.
Mhm.
Okay? Because I say it all the time. It's not the goal that is the prize. It's not the goal that is the ultimate place of arriving. It's not the business that's the ultimate. What's the ultimate is who you become in the process of becoming successful in love, in the business of love, and in the business of life. It's who you become
Exactly.
in the process. Man, I can't say that enough. The things that you went through, Miss Katrina, 7 years ago in your business, some of them challenges, you would laugh at them now.
Yeah.
You would laugh at them now because you have grown by leaps and bounds with the experiences that you've had.
Mm-hmm.
The same, the same thing in the business of love. And I love it. The business of life, the business of love.
Mm-hmm.
When you grow by leaps and bounds, you have the capacity and the ability to look at a man, to meet a man, and say, listen, king, you are a king, even if you don't know you're a king.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? You're a king, even if you don't know you're a king. But now here's the good part. The good part is, as a graduate of Love University, not only can you say you are a king if you don't know you're a king, I happen to be trained, highly trained, skilled, and empowered to bring kingly energy, to kingly behavior. Kingly is
Mm-hmm.
kingship, to develop and to draw out. See, that's what education is all about. Education is the ability, see, the root word in education is educo, the ability to extract out of.
Mm-hmm.
Ladies, to have the ability to extract out of. King, your king, okay?
Mm-hmm.
The ability to extract out of him. Once you begin to understand what you have, the power of influence that you're wielding, you say, not only do I say I can have it all, I know, I know that I can have it all.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. And not only that, I know how to. Okay. And that's one of the things that Stephen Covey talked about in the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. He said, what creates a habit? And the habit is the components of to know how
Mm-hmm.
to know the why
Mm-hmm.
and the want to.
Mm-hmm.
If you have the how to and the why to, but don't have the want to, you don't have the habit.
Right.
If you have the want to and the why to, but you don't know how to, see, if I only knew how to,
Mm-hmm.
see, you've got to have the three:
Mm-hmm.
the how to, the why to, and the want to.
Mm-hmm.
And once you have those, it's a wrap. It's a, it's a wrap. It's heaven on earth. Okay, it's heaven on earth, and that's why I'm doing the work that I'm doing, because when it comes down to what I do, just being, I just vision, for myself, that's one of the things that I always said, my wife and I, raising our 5 children and then raising our grandchildren, and then, just the time that we spent, we have times, and I always envision us and seeing us walking on the beach holding hands, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and uh, the last time we were out, uh, we went out early with our family vacation. We were walking, and my oldest daughter, she was out jogging, so she ran into us. She was jogging, and what were we doing? Walking on the beach, holding hands. See, that's that's what I want for every woman that's out there. For her to have that, for her to have it. I'm not talking about just going, I'm not talking about that Stella got a groove back, you know what I'm saying? Where you go and you find this man, you can't find him again, and you know what I'm saying? I just a one time, I'm talking about, listen, This is what he thinks of you.
Right.
To work, to save, to plan, to take you somewhere so that you and him can have those moonlight walks, those candle dinner. You know what I mean? Just to have all that. Do you know what? Do you know how wonderful life is?
Mm-hmm.
That's what that's what my life is about. It's about seeing to it that we begin to create that for the man and the woman because I'm going for win-win. I want him to win as well as for her to win. We've got to win together.
Right.
All right? So that's the reason I share with you all the time, women, men, understand the greatest place to be is in love.
Yes. Yes. And we are at the top of the hour already. I love
Time
these.
flies when you're having fun.
It does. And you wrapped it up just perfectly when you said that let's win together. It's not about one winning without the other. You
Hmm.
can't have victory without the other in a relationship. If
No.
one is victorious and the other one is losing, then you're both losing. And that's what people fail to realize.
Hmm.
Men and women.
Men and
Oh,
women.
I got this, and oh, I'm this. I'm so happy. I'm winning, and the wife is miserable in the corner,
Hmm.
or the woman. Oh, I'm winning. I got this, and he's miserable and everything like that. Then guess what? You're both losing,
Hmm.
and that's what people fail to realize in a relationship. You sometimes you have people who want to one up the other,
Yes.
or I'm you have both sides. You oh I'm the head. Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
Hmm.
But as the head, guess what? You should be happy, so should your wife.
Hmm.
With a woman, oh I'm happy, I want my independence. Okay. But is your husband happy?
Hmm.
Or are you that independent that he don't ever see
Hmm. Hmm.
you?
Yes. Yes. Yeah. You're too busy.
And then he feeling lonely.
Hmm.
So it's a balance that and all of this was it came that there is a balance.
A balance. That's the
Yes, you're
word.
the king.
Balance.
I'm the queen. The king and queen work together. There is a
Hmm.
balance
Balance.
in that. And it's like you shouldn't be so ruling over that the woman can barely breathe.
Hmm.
And you shouldn't be so out there as a woman that your husband don't know whether he coming or going.
Hmm. Hmm.
You know, there's a balance. There's definitely a balance to it. And one of them is knowing, like you said, what a man is. And the thing about it is he's that regardless.
Hmm.
And you have to be able, like you said, tell them that like my thing is I always was like, you're great. I don't care what it looks like right now. You're
Hmm.
great. You have greatness in you. I see it.
Hmm.
Do you, the thing about it is, do you see it?
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
And don't just tell me that you see it because I can tell in your actions that you don't see it.
That you don't see it. Hmm.
But I'm speaking into you
Hmm.
every day. No, you're great.
Hmm. Hmm.
You're going to do great things.
Great things.
I'm
Yeah.
going to be there with you, but you're going, and I'm going to see it. You're going to do great things.
Mm.
That's why when you blew my mind, one of the love topics and was like, a man doesn't need your help or your support. What he needs is for you to inspire him.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
But a man can only be inspired if he has the will to be inspired.
Hmm.
That's what you said today. So you
Hmm.
brought that in.
Hmm.
He can only be inspired if he has the will to be inspired. And if he
Hmm.
does not, that inspiration is not going to come. And
Hmm.
there's nothing that you can actually do to change that will. It's only him.
That's right. That's the key. That's the key. That's the key. No, nothing you can do.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And so that is the show. We are up to the hour mark. And before we get our coattails pulled, thank you so much for joining us for another episode. And
Thank
we will
you.
have another love episode next month.
Next month. Stay
See you later.
tuned. Goodbye for now.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of High Tea with Me. To be a guest on the show, contact us via email info@ventureready.net. Thank you again and see you next week.